Howdy y'all, thank you for joining us today for this playthrough of the Spider Hero Pack. This is where I like to take this Hero Pack straight unchanged and basically just shuffle it up and play it against Rhino, who is basically the starter deck from the core set if you play it. Sorry if the setup's a little weird here. We're even going to have to avoid this area over here. I had to do this at the shop, and you may even hear some background noise. Having some light issues at the house at the moment. So, going to see what I could do here. There's probably even a little bit of an echo for the sound, and you may hear other background noise happening as I am filming this at the shop. As you can see, this bad glare from our overhead lights, our shadow from the camera or whatever. All right, also, you would think I would have these at the shop, but I'm out of night blue sleeves, so I just have to play with this without, which is what I use. I like to use the night blue Dragon Shield sleeves. Unfortunately, I did not have enough to sleeve up the deck, so we're just going to have to play without. So that's fine. It could take a few shuffles, and we'll get this sleeved up afterwards. All right, here we go. I do not know much about this character other than I noticed the Parker name, so I'm assuming daughter or granddaughter maybe. I also know I saw something when I was looking this up. It mentioned the final spider, so we're going to see what that's all about. But she's got this interesting thing where she's in this spider suit, like a mech type thing. But unlike other cards where there's just one, what she does is if she switches to her hero form, then you have to switch the spider suit to the other side, the active side, which is her hero form. And then if you switch to her alter ego, the suit becomes inactive and so forth. So we're going to see how that works. Also, normally have some sleeves on this, but because of that glare spot here, and it's kind of a lot in this little area right here, I didn't want to take a chance of not being able to see the cards. So we're going to be playing with a weird little setup over here. But anyways, that's enough talking. Let's get into the game. I gave that a few shuffles. I also shuffled in some of this for the bad guys. Normally we play with the Rhino deck, and then it's supposed to have Bomb Scare and the obligation, of course, from Spider in this. And instead of Bomb Scare, if you look at the new hero packs, they come with a modular set. So now I like to go ahead, instead of randomizing or play with Bomb Scare, I like to mix in that modular set with Rhino. So in this one, it is the Iron Spider Sinister 6. But, all right. So I gave this a few shuffles. We'll do a few more. And as I'm talking about this, we'll do the last few shuffles. So, like I said, this is going to be an unchanged deck straight out of the box to show you how it kind of handles and how it plays and get us a good feel what they gave us with the new cards and whatnot. And if this is your first time joining me, what I like to do is I like to play the first round kind of going through a game explanation. That way, if it is your first time and you're interested in the game, you can kind of see how the game plays and you'll be able to follow through on the rest of the playthrough. And if you've already seen my videos before, thank you for watching again. And sorry I'm going to have to bore you through the first round, but we'll get right into that. All right, that should be more than enough shuffles. All right, so we start out with 14 hit points, which is denoted at the bottom. Oh, well, I messed that shuffle up. 14 hit points was denoted at the bottom here, and it also lets us know what our starting hand size is. And what we are trying to do is Rhino. Rhino is trying to break into a shield facility to steal some vibranium. So we need to try to KO him twice. He's got stages here. You can see stage 1. I know, like I said, I know it's a little dark, and it's because I normally have an extra light over here, but sorry about that. But Rhino here has got a stage 1, and we're going to do his stage 2. And we got to knock him out through his stage 1, which he starts with 14 hit points per player. And then when he goes, after we knock that out, he's going to go to his stage 2 where he'll get 15 hit points per player. So once we do that damage and knock him out those 2 stages, we win. We lose if Rhino can manage to pull off this scheme, which means he gets this much threat, so 7 threat per player on here, that means he pulls off his scheme. It's going to get some threat on here over time, most notably 1 per player each of his phases, and then it starts with 0. So he's going to be trying to do that scheme. He wins if he can pull off that scheme, or if he can manage to knock out all the players, which since we're solo means he just has to knock me out. So let's see if we can pull that off. We either got to knock him out twice before he either pulls off his scheme or knocks me out. One last shuffle. All right. Okay. So we're going to draw a hand size of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is our starting hand size. And normally right now you would get what's a mulligan, which means you can discard any cards you want to from your hand into the discard pile and then draw back up to your max hand size. So if I were to discard these 2, then I would get to draw 2 more from the deck, and that would be your starting hand. Since we're not 100% sure how this is supposed to run, I'm going to keep everything here. Plus, I have my location, so I don't see any reason why I would get rid of that. Yeah, so we look like we have some stuff here, so we're just going to keep that opening hand. We're going to get right into it. So it starts out with the hero phase, and normally there is a first player. Sorry, I dig out the first player marker. But since we're in solo play, we're always the first player, so I just don't bother to put it in there. So we start out with our turn, or with our phase. It's the hero phase, and we're starting out with our turn. There we go. Get words out. This may be a mistake early on, but I'm going to go ahead and start with something anyways. So one of the things you could do on your turn is if you have any cards that have actions on them, you can do them as long as you're in the right form. Like for instance, this one says here, maintenance alter ego action, which says I have to be in alter ego form, which I am. But I can activate that on my turn, which is I can exhaust the spider suit and draw 2 cards. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So we're going to exhaust the spider suit, which means just turning it on its side. And we get to draw 2 cards. So we draw 2 cards. Another thing you could do when it is your turn is you can switch once per turn, or once per hero phase, you can choose to switch forms. Meaning I can switch from alter ego to hero form, which normally it's 1 card, but the other hero form's on this side, or vice versa from hero form to alter ego form. We're going to go ahead and do that action. We're going to switch Penny Parker from her alter ego form to her hero form, which would be normally flip this, but if you look here, it flips this one, which I just noticed something interesting. It might have to do with her thing here. Because I noticed it's got a resource down here at the bottom, but that would normally be, well, we'll get to that here in a second. But anyway, so now we switch to this hero form, but this does stay exhausted. But you can see how it's going to change what our actions and abilities that we have access to. Okay, and actually we see it here. So I guess the way this one works is I was thinking you just have to make sure you do it, but what it is when I'm switching from alter ego form to my hero form, I switch over like it tells me to, and it actually has a forced interrupt here that says, when you flip to this side, flip the spider suit to its active side, which is what I did, which is now your hero form. Attach this card to spider suit, moving all counters on this card or cards attached to this card to spider suit. So I thought it was just always going to be there, but what it means is, yeah, she's climbing into the suit is what she's doing. And then now we have the spider suit here, which is active, but it is still exhausted. I didn't see anything that said I get to unexhaust it. But now I have access to this resource, and we'll get to it, which is when I'm doing things, I need this resource ability, possibly. Oh, I just realized. That's kind of cool. Okay. Yeah, sorry. It's because I just now realized what's going to be going on here. Because this new resource ability says I can exhaust an interface upgrade you control to generate that upgrade's resources. So I was thinking I was going to have to go get some others, but actually when you flip her over and attach this to her, because that's what an upgrade is. An upgrade is something that attaches to a character and gives them some extra ability. So this is just attached to them, or to the suit, I should say. But notice this is an upgrade, and it is an interface upgrade. So this is actually something that you can use with the suit, which is pretty cool, because I was thinking, that kind of sucks that I went ahead and exhausted him down, but it means I can use this card that's attached to the spider suit. And I'm just going to say spider. I'm assuming that's what that is. I understand it's like showing like a computer text, but I'm going to say that's spider. Just don't know if I'm doing it right. I don't know the character. But anyways, here we go. But I can basically exhaust this to generate this upgrade's resources, which would be down here at the bottom. And that's what I was wondering, because when I noticed this, when I flipped it over, I was like, hey, that's a wild resource, but I don't know how that would go in the deck. This is why, because basically I can now, even though the suit is exhausted, I can still exhaust this to actually get a resource. But that's what an upgrade is. An upgrade is just basically something that attaches to a character that is going to have some effect. In this case, it really doesn't have an effect. It just basically, like I said, it's Penny, right? Yeah. It's Penny climbing into the suit, and this is her basically using the suit to generate resources. So, pretty cool. That being said, we're actually going to do that now. So, another thing you could do on your turn is you can play cards from your hand. If you want to play a card from your hand, the cost of the card to play is up here at the top. In order to play that said card, you have to spend resources equal to the number at the top to play the card. If you look at the bottom of every card, there are 3 different colored resources. There is a fourth one, which is green, which is wild, but there are different resources. In order to get those resources, you just discard the cards during the resource of it to basically get it. So hence, if I wanted to play this card, I would just have to discard 2 cards, hence spending those resources. There's the 2 resources, and I would get to play this card. I want to play this card. I have to be in hero form. I am in hero form. And it cost 1 resource. Well, remember, the ability on the spider suit was, as a resource, I can exhaust an interface upgrade I control to generate that upgrade's resources. Interface upgrade. So I'm going to exhaust this interface upgrade, and that generates this wild resource, which is just 1 resource. So that generates 1 resource for me. So that pays for this card. So this is an event card. An event card is a one-time play event, and it's an action. Notice it said it was a hero action. I had to be in hero form, which I am. Hero action, choose, and I get to play all systems go, which is I can choose to ready each interface upgrade I control, which would let me unexhaust that one, which would just be counterproductive. Pay that 1 to play this to untap it. Or, sorry, I'm probably going to do a lot. Unexhaust it. Or I can search my deck and discard pile for an interface upgrade and add it to your hand, and then shuffle. So I'm going to do that one. I'm going to search through my deck and look for an interface upgrade and add it to my hand. I'm going to spare you all the time, and I'm going to make a cut here as I read through these and find which one I want. All right, so I kind of went through the deck, and there was 1 for defense, 1 for, I only saw a few. I saw 1 for defense, I saw 1 for attack, and I saw 1 for thwarting. There it is. And 1 for thwarting. But then there was this 1 for unexhausting the spider suit, which I figure it'd be cool to be able to attack, thwart, or defend. Either one of those is good. They're all good. But I think I like this one more, so I'm going to take this this host spider. And now let me reshuffle. Okay, so like I said, I want to play this card. It costs 3. So that means I need to pay 3 resources. So 1, 2, 3 resources. That lets me put this upgrade into play. Like I said, an upgrade is something that goes on to attaches to a character. So I'll attach that to the character here. And hero action, exhaust host spider. This is basically an upgrade, just like this other one. It is an interface upgrade, and just as a hero action, I can exhaust the host spider to ready the spider suit. So attaching this to the spider suit. And then for my next action, just so that I can, I'm going to go ahead and activate this hero action, because I'm in hero form, to exhaust the host spider to ready the spider suit. So ready the spider suit. Next, I'm going to bring out this spider command. It costs 1 to play. 1 to play. And it is a support. So a support is just something that comes off to the side. It's like a support thing that can support you through your endeavors. And here we got, it costs 1 to do it. Is support is a location. And it just basically gives me access to these 2 hero actions. One of them is a hero action. I can exhaust this to, and an interface upgrade. So one of those 2 to draw a card. Or I can exhaust this and discard a card from my hand to ready one of these interface upgrades. Seems good with this one, because if I can attack with spider suit and then exhaust this later to attack again, and then exhaust this, discard a card to unexhaust that, which will let me exhaust that, which will unexhaust that, which will let me... So I can do a bunch of attacking and thwarting on one turn. Seems really, really good. So we're going to put that there. One of the other things you could do, I just kind of talked about and mumbled over, but here we go, is on the side here, you have some other basic abilities you can do. Thwart, attack, and defend. And what you do is that, say I want to attack Rhino, I can exhaust the spider suit and attack Rhino or one of the villains or bad guys for this amount of damage, so 2 damage. Or right now there's no threat on the scheme, but I could exhaust spider suit and I could thwart a scheme and remove that much threat from the scheme. Or if I'm being attacked by a villain or a bad guy, I can exhaust the spider suit to defend, and it reduced the damage by this amount right here. I'm going to go ahead and show on the other side. Oh, well, it's on the other side of this one. There's another one that's on your alter ego, and what it is, it's recovery. It means that you can exhaust to recover this many hit points. But of course I cannot do that because that's in my alter ego form, and I am no longer in my alter ego form, and plus I'm at max anyways, so I wouldn't have done it while I was over there. But we're going to go ahead and exhaust the spider suit, and since there's nowhere to thwart, we don't have an incoming attack, we're going to go ahead and attack Rhino for 2 damage. So Rhino takes 2 damage. And with that, when you have no other actions you want to do or can do, no other cards in hand, or you just don't want to do any more actions, you move on to the end step. At this point, all the other players would do all their turns in clockwise order. And you can play actions on other people's turns. That's one of the things that's really cool about the game if you are playing multiplayer, but in this case I'm solo, so that goes to all the heroes have done their turns. So we go to the end of the phase, which the last part is you could discard any number of cards you want to from your hand. In this case, I have no cards in hand, so I have nothing to discard, but I could choose to discard if I wanted to, because after everybody has discarded, you're going to draw up to whatever your current hand size is, which if you remember was 4 on the other side. In this case, my hand size is 3, which usually the hero is 1 lower than what the alter ego is, but this is really low, 3. But I think it's because of what we were already seeing I'm able to do is unexhaust, unexhaust. So it looks like I'm going to be able to do a lot more things, but we'll see. But anyways, so I done my discard. I have no cards in hand, so that means I'm going to get to draw up to my hand size of 3. So I draw 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. And then after everyone's drawn up, you unexhaust all of your cards. And you move on to the villain phase. The villain phase starts with the first thing he does is accelerate his scheme. So in this case, the Rhino is going to accelerate the scheme by +1 per number of players. So he's going to add 1 threat per number of players. So 1 threat because we're solo. And then next, the villain is going to, and the bad guys are going to activate. The way you figure out what they do is dependent upon what form you're in. If I am in alter ego form, then the villain and the bad guys are going to scheme and add threat to the scheme. If I am in hero form, they will attack. I am in hero form, so he is going to attack me. Now is when I would choose if I want to defend. I'm going to choose not to defend. So first the villain activates. So the villain, since I did not defend, the villain is now going to attack. He's going to attack for 2. Now if the villain, when he activates, he gets what's called a boost card. And in this case, he's going to get a boost card. And now he's going to activate and he's going to boost his whatever he's doing, scheming or attacking, by whatever's on this boost card. So in this case, he's doing 2 damage, and then he's going to boost. And we ignore the whole card, and we're looking just at the bottom here. And we're looking for these symbols right here. However many of those little symbols there are, that's how much he's going to boost the action for. So in this case, he's doing 2 plus 2. He's doing 4 damage with this attack. I did not defend, so I have to take 4 damage. Next, any bad guys, and normally the bad guys would attach to, like they engage with the player they come out on, if there's any minions or anything. In this case, since I'm playing solo, I like to just separate and put all the bad guys in one area. There are no other bad guys, so no bad guys activate. So next we go into the encounter step. In the encounter step, each player is dealt 1 encounter card. After all the players have been dealt an encounter card, they have to activate and do all the encounter cards that are in front of them. So they could have multiples depending on other cards in the game. In this case, I only have 1, so we see what the encounter is. And the encounter is charge. Is it an attachment? It says to attach this to Rhino. It's going to give him +3 attack. And then as a forced interrupt, when Rhino attacks, that attack gains overkill, which means if I had an ally, which I did not show you yet, but I could have allies that could defend for me. And if they do, it means any extra damage that is done to the bad guy or to the ally to knock them out, any excess damage that is done will also carry over to me. And it tells you there, excess damage to an ally from this attack is dealt to that ally's controller. At the end of this attack, discard charge. So this next attack is going to be a real beefy, don't want to have to take damage attack. But that attaches to him. With that, the last part of the villain phase is to pass the first player marker to the person to the left. In this case, we are solo, so that's it. And we go back to the beginning of the hero phase. And that's pretty much the game. We're just going to be going back and forth until either I knock out Rhino twice, or Rhino wins by knocking me out or pulling off his scheme. At this point, I'm just going to play the game, and I'll still talk about things from time to time, but it's just going to be anything that I feel like was not covered already. But that's kind of how the game goes. So let's go ahead and go to the beginning of this next turn. I like to see what all my options are. So the first thing I'm going to do is with Spider Command here. As a hero action, I'm going to exhaust Spider Command and an interface upgrade to draw a card. I'm going to choose this one here, which does nothing unless, I use it with this thing. So might as well just exhaust that one. It is an interface upgrade, and it lets me draw a card. Well, I have to exhaust this too, sorry. I exhaust that, which exhausts that, which lets me draw a card. It's actually a pretty good card, and it's because of one of the things, Shadows of the Past. If you've played the game before, you know how that card can really hit hard and some of these treacheries can be really bad. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and put this card into play. So it costs 1 to do. One. And that lets me put Spider Tingle into play. And as you can see here is an upgrade, so it's going to attach to a character. And it says as an interrupt, when I would reveal an encounter card during that encounter step, and I could deal 1 damage to a Web Warrior, which Spider Suit is a Web Warrior character you control. If that card is a treachery, cancel its when revealed effect, but get rid of this. So it basically just lets you counteract a treachery. So we're going to put that, I'm just going to put it down here because we got this big row of attachments to this character, but Spider Tingle is now into play. And I guess if I really would have thought about it, I should have put this thing into play instead. That treachery just always scares me, but I could have done the tapping and stuff to be able to put that into play since we got a big attack coming in. But we'll see if that costs me anything for ignoring that. But here we go. We're going to go ahead and exhaust the Spider Suit to attack Rhino for 2 damage. 2 damage. We're going to go ahead and use this hero action to exhaust the host spider to ready the Spider Suit. So exhaust the host spider to ready the Spider Suit. And then we're going to exhaust the Spider Suit to attack Rhino for another 2 damage. And with that, we're going to pass to the end of my turn. Our phase. I'm going to keep both these cards in hand. So I'm not going to discard anything. I draw up to my hand size of 3, so I get to draw 1 more card. We ready or unexhaust all of our cards. Go back to the villain phase. He's going to accelerate the threat, the scheme. So he adds 1 more threat. I am in hero form, so hence he's going to attack. Since this is a lot of incoming damage, I am going to go ahead and defend. Exhaust the suit to defend. So he's going to attack for 2 plus his boosted card. Now we look at all of his boost cards. So he adds 2, 3, plus he's got this charge. So he's doing 6 damage to me with overkill. I defended for 2. So 6 minus 2 means I take 4 damage. And then the forced interrupt was when Rhino attacks, he got the overkill, but then this goes away. Next we go, there's no minions, so next we go to the encounter step. Deal each person an encounter card. Then we do what it is, and it is a side scheme. So what a side scheme is, it's something that's going to make the game more difficult because it's going to add stuff that it's going to be doing. And it's a side scheme, so you need to kind of take care of it. Basically, it's a scheme on top of this scheme, so it's going to be one of these things where it's going to have threat on it also. And it's going to keep doing what it's going to do until you get rid of that scheme. So in this case, this one's going to get 2 threat, plus when revealed, place an additional 1 threat per player here. So it's going to have 3 threat on here. And what this is going to do is during that encounter step, which we're in right now, at the beginning of it, that's the reason you deal the cards first and then encounter them, you deal an additional 1 card to the first player, basically. So yeah, this is something you want to get rid of because otherwise you get overwhelmed with encounters. So we're going to put that right here. It gets 3 threat on it. And then back to our turn. Now be aware, since I defended, now the Spider Suit is exhausted. So it means I can't attack or thwart, which is why I said I like that being able to ready. All right, well, I want to take care of that thing that's going to be giving us extra encounters. So we're going to, as a hero action, exhaust the host spider to ready the spider suit. Ready the spider suit. And then we're going to exhaust the spider suit to thwart a scheme for 2 threat. So we're going to thwart this breaking and taking for 2 threat, reducing it to 1. I'm going to go ahead and activate this resource because I want to play this card. I realized I was about to discard this card to unexhaust this, which would let me ready this. This does the same thing, so I might as well just use this 1 point to basically, anyways, so I want to bring this out. So as a resource, I can exhaust an interface upgrade I control to generate that upgrade's resource. Upgrade interface. So that gives me 1 resource to play this limitless stamina. It does have it's an event. It does say play only if my identity has at least 14 printed hit points. I have 14 printed hit points. So hero action, ready my hero. Ready my hero. And then now I'm going to exhaust the spider suit to thwart another scheme for 2. Now, this only has 1, so I can't choose to go boom, boom. I can only thwart 1 scheme. So I'm thwarting this one so we don't have to do the extra encounter. Wanted to use this for something else, but instead I'm going to do this spider command, exhaust spider command, choose and discard 1 card from your hand. I'll discard this. I'm about to do something I don't want to take a chance of losing, like a double scheme or something. So anyways, so I discarded that to ready an interface upgrade. So I'm going to ready this host spider. And then I'm going to exhaust the host spider to ready the spider suit. And then I'm going to exhaust the spider suit to thwart the last 2 threat. Switch to my alter ego form, which I flip this and it says as a force to interrupt. When you flip to this side, flip spider to Penny Parker, detach Penny Parker from here, moving all counters on her and cards attached to her to this card. So flip her here. So all this stuff's attached to the spider suit. She's still exhausted. I don't know the counters it talks about. I guess so you can set up some other way. I don't know. We haven't seen, it said move counters too, but I don't see any counters that go on. Or make sure I'm just not playing it wrong, but I don't think so. But yeah, so I did that because I'm about to go in alter ego form, which means he's going to scheme. And granted, it could happen. I just didn't want to take a chance that there could be a double scheme because there are cards in the encounter deck that could scheme. So I might as well get rid of that and hopefully get a better hand size to where I could do some stuff. But with that, I go to the end of my turn. I want to keep this card in hand. So I'm going to draw up to my hand size, which is now 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, ready all my cards, or unexhaust all my cards. All right, back to the villain. He's gonna accelerate the scheme. So he's going to activate. I am in alter ego form. So he is going to scheme for 1, deal his boost card. He schemes for 1, 2. So he adds 2 threat to the scheme. And then now we go to the encounter phase. And it's like I said, no. This is an environment. I just saw that, so I was like, oh, no, it's an environment. So first off, it's got Surge, which means we're going to have to do another card. And then each criminal minion gains Surge. So that means if there's, I'm assuming all the other Sinister 6 are criminal minions. So it means they'll keep bringing more out. As a hero action, if there are no criminal minions in play, I can spend 2 resources of any type to discard this card. Well, let's put this environment into play and let's hope I don't hit, because that's Surge, so we have to do another card. And let's just hope this isn't a criminal minion, because if so, I can get rid of this. No such luck. It is not one of the Sinister Six. I mean, it is, but it's not one of the Sinister Six things that got mixed in. But it is a minion, and it is a criminal. So, not going to be able to get rid of this. And that means he's got Surge. Things are getting real bad here. All right, so normally this, like I said, would attach over here, and I'd have to deal with this minion that's engaged with me. I'm just going to put him over here. It is Shocker, and as you can see here, he's got a 1 scheme to attack. He's got 3 hit points. I'm just going to put these, I know these are damage counters. I like to put them on there, though, just to kind of let me see easier how much more damage I have to do. He has a when revealed, deal 1 damage to each hero. So not only is he going to Surge, but he's going to deal 1 damage to... Is this at a weird angle? I guess it is. Sorry. I don't know if I can fix that. We'll just keep it the way it is. But he's going to deal 1 damage to each hero. So 1 damage to each hero. Oh, each hero. I am not in hero form. I'm an alter ego. So actually, I don't take damage there. But we do have a Surge. Let's hope it's not another minion criminal. It is not. But it is another side scheme. The Iron Spider Sinister Six are on a crime spree, robbing every business they come across. Oh man, this is like a double whammy. Okay, so this symbol means as long as this, which has 4 threat on it, is in play, I cannot do anything about removing threat from here until I can remove threat from, until I can remove threat from this side scheme. So this is going to be a play. But then on top of that, I cannot remove threat from this side scheme until I have all the criminals gone. So we need to take care of some stuff here real bad. We're going to take care of this criminal and take care of this. Well, we want to take care of this criminal so we can get rid of this. And then just hope this doesn't overload too much. We will have to see. With that, we go back to the beginning of my turn. Stuff went real bad wrong here. All right, let's see what we can take care of. I was hoping to get some hit points back. Actually, I did not think that. Hold up. Because I was thinking I was going to have to unexhaust her, but I'm not. So I might be able to do more stuff than I thought. Because, yeah, exhausting her to recover, that's actually pretty cool. Yeah, I exhaust her to recover. It just means I can't get that free resource, but it doesn't tap the spider suit to do that. That's really good, actually. So actually, we're going to do that. Because I was trying to figure out a way I could do all this stuff, but we're going to exhaust her to recover 4 hit points. You know, that's pretty good. I mean, I'll make sure as I read through this. But I was thinking, I was like, man, if I exhaust her to recover, that means I can't attack with the spider suit and do things. So, but no, I think that works the way I'm thinking, because now I'm going to switch to hero form, which flips this, and it says, forced to interrupt when I flip to this side, flip the spider suit to its active side, attach this card to spider suit, moving all counters on this card or cards attached to this card to spider suit. Now I'm going to pay 1, because I got this all systems go. Oh, already each. No. I'm still going to use it to go get. I forgot about this other effect. I was just thinking I can go get the thwart or attack, but now I might be able to unexhaust all my interfaces. No. We're still going to go get. I just don't remember the cost, but I'm hoping to go get the attack one. I just feel like thwarting's the problem, but I'm still going to go ahead and go for the attack one. So I'm going to go get the web fluid compressor with all systems go, because it says search your deck and discard pile for an interface upgrade and add it to your hand. All right, so this goes to hand. Really regretting bringing this out now and not the one that absorbed hit points. But that's fine. We need to take care of the problem that's a problem right now. So we're going to go ahead and have Spider Suit attack Shocker for 2 damage. Taking him to 1. And then we're going to exhaust the host spider to ready the spider suit. And then use the spider suit to attack Shocker again, which is enough to KO Shocker. And then now, because there's no criminals in play, if there's no, as a hero action, if there are no criminal minions in play, spend 2 resources of any type to discard this card. Spending 2 resources to get rid of the surge in crime. With that, we're going to go to the end of my turn. I'm going to keep this in hand. So we're going to draw up to our hand size of 3. 1, 2, 3. Ready all of our cards. He accelerates the scheme. I am in hero form. So Rhino is going to attack for 2. Boost card. Plus 0. So he just does 2 damage. Oh, I didn't even stop to think whether I was going to defend. Oh, I guess I really needed not to, because I'm going to need to take care. I'm going to need all the exhausting to take care of schemes here. Encounter step. And another minion. So good thing I got rid of that surge. So Sandman is a minion, criminal. Forced response. After Sandman takes any amount of damage from an attack, discard the top 7 cards of the encounter deck. So we're going to take care of him, but we're just going to have to just mill through cards. Because if this encounter deck ever runs out, it adds an acceleration counter to the scheme to where instead of 1 per turn, it's getting 2 per turn. But we're going to have to take care of all this other stuff. So odds are Sandman's going to sit here and... Well, it says only... Oh, no, it's when he takes any damage. So it's going to definitely mill some cards because it's only when it damages him. Okay. And I didn't show it. And I can go ahead now since I see it. So when we're doing the boost thing, normally there's this little... You know, we're looking for that symbol, but if there's this symbol, that's when you look at this thing. So during the boost, that's when this stuff can happen. But that wasn't a boost, so Sandman just joins the fray. All right, move back to the beginning of my turn. And I just realized I can't get rid of this, which isn't going to let me get rid of this because I have to take care of Sandman first. Ugh, I definitely chose poor... Well... No, maybe not, because we got to get through all of Sandman's hit points. So first things first, I want to bring out that web fluid compressor. So we're going to activate this resource, exhaust an interface upgrade you control to generate that upgrade's resource. Here's an interface upgrade. So that's 1 resource, 2 resource. Now I have the web fluid compressors. We're just going to put all of our stuff down here so I can quit lifting these up. Matter of fact, we'll just do this. All right. So we're going to attack Sandman for 2. And then this is a hero interrupt. When Spider Suit makes a basic attack, exhaust web fluid compressor. It gets +2 for that attack. So +2 for that attack. So he's going to do 2, 3, 4 damage to Sandman. Taking him to 3. And then Sandman's force response is, after Sandman takes any amount of damage from an attack, discard the top 7 cards of the encounter deck. So 1... Well, just to show y'all cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are discarded. We're going to exhaust the host spider to ready the spider suit. We're going to activate this spider command. Hero action, exhaust spider command. Choose and discard 1 card from your hand to ready an interface upgrade. Discard this card from hand to ready this. And then exhaust Spider Suit to make a basic attack against Sandman again. We're going to give it +2, so he's going to do 4 damage, which is enough to knock out Sandman. But the force response still triggers because it says, after Sandman takes any amount of damage from an attack, discard the top 7 cards of the encounter deck. So 1, another Sandman, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to go back and show something because it would have happened in this game. So, well, maybe it would have happened. If he would have been out, since you notice that little symbol right next to his name there, if he would have been out, this Sandman, and this one would have came out, this one just would have done nothing, actually, in that case. Because you can only have one of each character uniquely. So that would have been like a boon and a bonus for us. I have no other cards in hand, no other actions that I can activate. So we're going to draw up to our hand size of 3. 1, 2, 3. Ready all of our cards, or unexhaust all of our cards. Go to the top. He's going to accelerate his scheme. He's almost there. Don't know if I can take care of all this. We're going to find out. And then, now I am in hero form. Now I'm going to need all my exhaust actions, so I'm not going to defend. So 2 plus 0, so he's going to do 2 damage. And we need a criminal not to come down right now during this encounter step, because if it does, this can get real bad for us. But here we go. Last card in the deck. Deal out the encounter. It is not as a treachery. When revealed in alter ego form, this gains surge. When in hero form, Rhino attacks you. And if they're damaged by this, then you are stunned. But I do have this spider tingle. This is a treachery, so I'm going to do the spider tingle, which is interrupt. When I would reveal an encounter card, deal 1 damage to a web warrior character I control. And then if that card is a treachery, cancel its when revealed effect and discard spider tingle. So take 1 damage. And it gets to ignore this. But the encounter deck did run out, so this is going to accelerate the scheme. And reshuffle the encounter deck. Reshuffle deck. Go back to the beginning of my turn. This may not be all doom and gloom. Let's see what we can do here. I'm going to exhaust the spider suit to thwart that grand larceny for 2. Because I can do that now because there are no criminals in play. So we need to take care of this now. And remember, if there was criminals in play, I couldn't do anything to this. And then because of this symbol, as long as this is in play, I couldn't do anything to this. So this was the thing I need to get to. So if criminal would have came down this turn, that probably would have been game. So I'm going to go ahead and exhaust the host spider hero action to ready the spider suit. Then I'm going to use the spider suit and thwart the grand larceny to get rid of it. I'm going to go ahead. I want to play Limitless Stamina. I'm going to activate this resource to exhaust an interface upgrade I control and generate the upgraded resource. So it gives me a wild resource, which is 1. I can play this because I do have a 14 printed hit points. And it lets me, as a hero action, ready my hero. Going to use my hero, exhaust spider suit to thwart the scheme for 2. And then now I'm going to use the spider command, hero action, exhaust spider command, choose and discard 1 card from your hand to ready an interface upgrade. I'm going to choose and discard I'm going to discard this to ready the host spider. I'm going to use hero action, exhaust host spider to ready spider suit. And then now I'm going to exhaust spider suit to thwart the scheme for another 2. And then now I go to the end of my turn. Do I want to keep this? No, I'm going to go ahead and discard this. I guess I'm just going to discard it. So now I have no cards in hand, so that I can draw my hand size of 3. 1, 2, 3. That lets me ready and unexhaust all my things. We go to the top of the villain phase. He's going to accelerate the theme or the scheme for +2, so adding 2, so going to 3. I am in hero form. I am going to go ahead and defend. So he's doing 2 plus the boost card plus 0. I was worried it was going to be a 2 or 3, so we've hit several zeros, but all right. So he's doing 2 plus 0. I defend it for 2, so I take no damage. We go to the encounter step. And seriously, well, Sandman makes another comeback. Man, when am I going to get time to take down Rhino? Back to the beginning of my turn. Well, technically, I do not need to take out Sandman if I do not want to. Because while it will be annoying, doing damage to him is just going to mill through this, which is going to make this go faster. So I can wait, but it does mean he's going to be scheming or attacking for an additional 1 every time. So that's always going to be an issue if I don't take him out. But because he's out doesn't do anything other than he's going to be doing an additional 1. I can still attack Rhino and do this stuff to the scheme. It's just a risk of whether something else comes out that makes him do more stuff. This may seem weird, but I'm thinking it right, so we're going to try this. I want to bring this out. I'm not really going to get to use it, I think, because until the next turn, possibly next turn. But I don't want to discard it, and I don't want to muck it up my hand. So anyways, I want to bring this out. It costs 1. So I'm going to use this resource to exhaust an interface upgrade. I'm actually going to do the web fluid compressor. And that generates that, which pays for this. Which basically now when I defend, I can exhaust this to get +2 to that defense. But also I can use this as like a tap that resource with that resource thing. And actually I just realized this doesn't say once per turn, like per phase, like a lot of things do. So that means as long as I'm exhausting these, man, I could have been doing that with the whip. I'm a dummy. That's fine. I just realized that's fine. All right. Anyways, actually, that means I can use this also. Now that got me thinking something else, because now I use that to bring this out. Right? Because if I'm reading this right, as a resource, I can exhaust an interface upgrade I control to generate that upgrade's resource. That makes me think, I don't know anything that says I can't activate multiple resource things. So if I'm reading this right, and let me make sure it ain't in her little thing saying you can't. Because if I'm reading this right, then I can activate, like I could exhaust this and this to get 2 resources. And that makes sense why her hand size is so low. Okay, I went through the rule book just to check to be sure. And if I do this wrong, I am sorry. I will try to see if I find something else online before I put this video up. And if it's after the video, this may be wrong, this may not. So do not, or take this with a grain of salt from what it is. And that's the way this game kind of is. It's one of the things I was just talking about. The game is really cool in the fact that every time a new deck comes out, everybody plays different. There's always usually some weird newness you'll find in each deck. But then it also raises questions. And the one I was looking for is because of this one. It says, as a resource, it's an ability that I can exhaust an interface upgrade I control. It's a triggered ability that when I'm paying for resources, I can exhaust an interface upgrade I control to generate that upgrade's resources. And normally, a lot of times, some of the cards will say once per phase, or it'll give you some trigger that'll say when you cannot do it. This doesn't. I looked in the rule book under resources. I may have missed it, and if I did, I'm sorry. But when I looked there, it doesn't say anything about you can only use each ability once. Because a lot of times they'll say you can only use it once because in the example of like these, you have to exhaust these. So that makes it where you can only use it once. Well, this isn't exhausting. This is something you can just use, whether it's exhausted or not. So as of everything I can find right now, I think as long as you're limited by exhausting your interface upgrades, I think you can use that. If I find something different, or if y'all find something different, I am sorry, but that's the way I'm going to read it and play it right now. Not just because I feel like I need it right now. It's just because I was literally just ready to go for another turn. But that's just the way I read it. I notice it doesn't say once per phase, and it just hit me like, oh man, I can do all this? Okay. Now it doesn't let me do the healing like I wanted to, but it will let me get some stuff out of my hand out, which is the main key thing that I kind of want to do. So we are going to, I want to bring out another interface here, or another upgrade. It costs 2. I'm going to use this resource, exhaust an interface upgrade you control, to generate its upgrades resource. Going to exhaust that. That gives me the physical resource. And then I'm going to activate it again, exhaust an interface upgrade you control to generate an upgrade that's a resource on that resource, or the resource that upgrade has, wild. So now I have a physical and a wild to pay for this 2, which brings out this interface upgrade. That when Spider Suit makes a basic thwart, now basically I have all my thwart, attack, and my defense 1. I'm going to use this hero action to exhaust host spider to ready the Spider Suit. I am going to use the Spider Suit to basic ability to thwart the main scheme. This is going to give it +2, so it thwarts for 4, removing all 3. We're going to flip to my alter ego form, which when I do that, well, technically, I guess really the way it's supposed to be working is my hero is the one that does it. So the hero switches to alter ego form, which has a forced interrupt, which says when you flip to this side, flip Spider to Penny Parker. Detach Penny Parker from here, moving all counters on her and cards attached to her to this card. So, oh, this is still exhausted, sorry. And I can't do her action because Spider Suit is exhausted. So, with that, now I'm going to go to my end phase. I'm not going to discard that. I'm going to keep it in hand. So I draw it to my hand size of 4. So I have 1 in hand, 2, 3, 4. Ready all my cards. Right up top, he's going to accelerate the scheme for 1, 2. I am in alter ego form. So he is going to scheme for 1. Plus his boost card, 1. Oh, see, it's got a boost. So we've got to go and read what the boost ability is, which is deal 1 indirect damage to each player. Exhaust each character damage this way. So indirect damage means you do 1 damage to... Well, it means you have to do the indirect damage spread out amongst all your characters. In this case, I only have 1 character, so 1 indirect damage to each character, or to each player, and then I only have 1 character, so that means that 1 character has to take damage, and then that character that is damaged is exhausted, which kind of sucks, because then I can't do the healing I was hoping to do. Boo. But that doesn't add anything else, so it only adds 1 threat to the scheme. And then now the minions activate. He's going to just scheme for 1. Now he does not get a threat or a boost card because he is not a villain. There is an ability called Villainous which would give him a boost card. With that, we go to the encounter step. We flip the encounter, which is another attachment, the one we've already seen, the same attachment actually, not another, which is charge gets attached to Rhino, which is going to make his next attack make me want to throw up. All right. Well, we go back to the beginning of my turn. I was hoping to do some healing, but, well, I just realized how good this defense upgrade is, because since you unexhaust at the end of your turn, this is basically like giving you a resource. That's pretty good, actually. I should have went for that one early. Oh, but now this unexhaust one, the ready one, that helped me come back. So don't regret those decisions. Anyways, okay. There's no reason to stay in alter ego form at this point. So we are going to go ahead and flip to my hero form, which we know how this works already. It's basically going to just do all this, but that stays exhausted because she was exhausted for taking the damage. I am going to go ahead and thwart the main scheme. For 2, I have this psychic link that says when Spider Suit makes a basic thwart, exhaust psychic link, it gets +2 thwart for that thwart. So the suit is going to now thwart for 4, which is going to remove all the threat off the main scheme. I'm going to exhaust the host spider to ready the spider suit. I'm going to go ahead and attack with the spider suit on Rhino. I have the web fluid compressors that say when spider suit makes a basic attack, exhaust web fluid compressors, it gets +2 attack for that attack. And scratch that, I'm actually going to go ahead and attack Sandman. So I attack Sandman, doing 4 damage to him. Because I did that, he has a forced response. After Sandman takes any amount of damage from an attack, discard the top 7 cards of the encounter deck. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I want to do this web trap event. I'm going to activate this resource to exhaust the spider metal alloy. To pay for 1 of that, I'll discard this for the second one of that. And do web trap, which is going to do, it's a hero action, deal 5 damage to an enemy. If you paid for this card using the resource generated by Spider Suit's sync ratio ability, that's what this is, the sync ratio ability, then I get to stun that enemy also. So it's going to do 5 damage to Rhino, taking him to 3. Because I did that, he becomes stunned, and we already talked about this. So what stun is, it's going to put a stun effect on him, and it means that the next attack he does, instead of attacking, he just gets rid of this card. So basically he shakes off the stun. And I have a little stun thingy here, so we'll just put that there. We're actually going to use the hero action again on the spider command. It says exhaust spider command, choose and discard 1 card from your hand to ready an interface upgrade. I was going to discard this, but we've seen bad things happening with those, so we're going to get rid of this one. So because I discarded that, I get to ready an interface upgrade. We're going to ready the host spider. Then my next action is going to be as a hero action to exhaust the host spider to ready the spider suit. And then we're going to basic ability attack Rhino for 2 damage with the spider suit, taking him to 1. Ready to take him out of his first stage on our next turn, hopefully, as all goes well. With that, we're going to end my turn. I'm going to go ahead and discard that to clean out my hand. I have no cards in hand. So I'm going to draw to my hand size of 3. 1, 2, 3. And ready all my cards. We go back to the top of the villain phase. He's going to accelerate the scheme. Now I am in hero form. He is going to attack. I don't know why I stopped and hesitated. I was thinking of defending, but I do not need to defend because since he's going to attack, instead of attacking, he is stunned. So he does not attack. It just gets rid of the stun, negating his attack. But now Sandman will activate. And Sandman will attack. I will not defend, so he's going to do 1 damage to me. And with that, we go to the encounter step. Deal ourselves an encounter card. Do all of our encounter cards. Yay, another minion. All right, Hobgoblin comes out. We see here, he's got a 2 scheme, 2 attack, 5 hit points. But he's got a forced interrupt that when he attacks, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck equal to Hobgoblin's attack instead. Take 1 indirect damage for each boost icon discarded this way. So, I mean, I guess that's good and bad, but it is something where we're starting to get a little overloaded here, so we're going to have to kind of take these guys down. But it does go back to the beginning of my turn. And we're going to have the Spider Suit attack Hobgoblin. And I'm going to activate the Web Fluid Compressors as a hero interrupt, which is going to make basically gives him +2 to that attack. So it's going to do 4 attack to Hobgoblin, taking him to 1. We are going to use this hero action to exhaust the host spider to ready the Spider Suit. And then use the Spider Suit to attack Hobgoblin again, which is enough to KO him. I want to bring out this Force Field Generator. It costs 3. I'm going to use the resource thing to exhaust these 2 to use them for their resource, which gives me the mental and the physical resource, plus this one to bring out the Force Field Generator, which is a upgrade also. Well, yay, more upgrades. It puts 6 counters on here, and then as an interrupt, when I would take any amount of damage, remove that many energy counters from here. For each energy counter removed, prevent 1 of that damage. So it's basically just going to give me 6 more hit points, basically, is what it's going to do. And sorry, that's going to have to go in this glare here. I'll just pick it up when I need to use it. But 6 counters on there. So basically 6 hit points, basically. We're going to go ahead and activate Spider Command to exhaust it, discard a card from my hand, to ready an interface, which will do the host spider. And then we're going to exhaust host spider to unexhaust Spider Suit. And then we're going to exhaust Spider Suit to do a basic thwart to remove the 2 threat from the scheme. And then we're going to switch to alter ego form, which is basically going to do all this stuff, as we know already. And then we're going to exhaust Penny Parker to recover 4 hit points. I'm assuming I'm doing that right, but it feels right on that because of the way, otherwise they would have just, I think, had them on the opposite sides, but I'm pretty sure that's how they're supposed to work that way. It feels like this character is kind of like a different take on Quicksilver, where he basically gets to unexhaust all the time. This one does too if you just play the cards right. So I'm assuming I am doing that correct. But with that, I'm going to go to the end of my turn. I have no cards in hand. We're going to draw to my hand size of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Ready all of my cards. Back to the top on the villain. He's going to accelerate the scheme. I am in alter ego form. So he's going to scheme for 1, 2. Sandman's going to scheme for 1. And we could lose here because there is 2 cards in the deck that just tell him to scheme. This could go bad for us. Let's see. Encounter phase is deal each person an encounter card. Sorry, I just realized I threw that off because I didn't want to throw it on there. No, it is an attachment. Enhanced Ivory Horn. Attached to Rhino. It's going to give him a +1 attack. He's already got a +3 on his next attack. But this is going to give him another +1. That just makes that next attack going to hurt real bad. But as a hero action, I can spend 3 physical resources to discard this card. Now this one is not like this one where it's going to go away after he gets it. This one stays on until I get rid of those resources or pay those resources. So we just got to see if I'm actually going to do said thing. But let's just slide this underneath there. With that, goes back to the top of my turn. Okay, reading this card, I know I'm doing that sync ratio thing where I can exhaust the resources for each interface upgrade I exhaust, giving me a resource. I know I'm doing that right now because otherwise this card would make no sense. Now it could get stupid because this says as a hero response, after Venom enters play, place 1 sim counter on her for each resource generated by Spider Suit's sync ratio ability to pay for her. So I'd say each counter, there'd be like, it would only say if you use sync ratio and put in a counter on her. This is saying for each, so that means each one I use. So Venom can get real disgusting, and I don't see a minimum there. So this can be real disgusting late game. Probably gonna try to bring that out. I was gonna heal, but because of that Venom, I think I'm actually going to hold on to that. And I feel like Venom could do a lot of damage for me to finally get Rhino knocked out here. All right, so let's do this because this has been a long one, but an interesting one at that. Okay, here we go. We're going to switch to hero form, which does stuff like that. Let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to use the Spider Suit to attack Rhino for 2. I am not going to use my web fluid compressors. So that's enough to knock Rhino out of his stage 1. So when we knock him out of his stage 1, he gets this when revealed, search the encounter deck and discard pile. Ooh, that seems a little fuzzy there. For the breaking and taking side scheme and reveal it. Let me see if it's in the discard. Which we already saw that one. That's the one where it's going to add an extra encounter card. But I knew that was coming. I played against Rhino so much. So I knew that was going to be a thing. So I was trying to plan it to make sure I can get rid of the breaking and taking. Which is going to put 3 on this. All right, that gave some shuffles there. All right, now that we did that, give him his new hit points, which is 15 per player. And I may not have mentioned it at the beginning. I think I showed it, but I didn't mention it. It kind of shows down there at the bottom. So now we just got to take him down 15 hit points, and this game's over. So let's see if we can do that. Well, let's take care of the biggest problem right now, which is that breaking and taking. Because extra encounters is always bad. So we're going to exhaust Hero's Host Spider to ready Spider Suit. Then we're going to exhaust Spider Suit to thwart, which we have the Psychic Link, which says when you make a basic thwart exhausted to get +2 thwart. And we're going to thwart the breaking and taking for 2, 3, 4, which is enough to get rid of the breaking and taking. Now that we did that, we're going to go ahead and bring Venom out. So to bring Venom out, we're going to activate the sync ratio, and we're going to exhaust this for the wild resource. We're going to exhaust the speed metal alloy for the physical resource. And we're going to exhaust the web fluid compressors for the, I always keep calling it reflex, but it's not reflex, it's energy resource. So that's 3 of them. And then there's the 4th resource. But if you remember, I showed this already on the hero response. After Venom enters play, place 1 sim counter on her for each resource generated by Spider Suit's sync ratio ability to pay for her. I paid for 3 of those. So that means she's going to get 4 or 3 sync ratio or sim counters on there, which means basically she gets +3 on each of these. So it's like she has a 4 attack and 4 thwart. And this, since this is the first time I brought out an ally, I'm going to show you everything. She's got 3 hit points here. So I'm putting the hit point counters on her. I mean, I said damage counters so I can remember how many hit points she has. And, oh, sorry, I just realized she's a little off camera there, sorry. But the way allies work is they do the thwart and attack just like a identity does. The only difference is, notice they got these little consequence stars underneath there. So that means if they do the ability that you have there, they have to take the consequence damage for doing said ability. So, I mean, 4 thwart or 4 attack, she's going to get to that 3 times. Seems pretty good. So, I guess I'm going to have to just make some room for Venom here. And with that explanation, that's exactly what I'm about to do. We're going to go ahead and attack Rhino with Venom. So we exhaust Venom. And that's going to attack for 1 plus for each sim counter. So 4 damage to Rhino, taking him down to 11. But remember, now Venom has to take the consequence damage. And notice there's no defense on these characters, on the allies. And it's because if they can defend just like your identity can. The only difference is they just got to take it in the face. So most likely they're just going to take out all their hit points. But they can block for you. And that's where that overkill came into effect, which his next attack will have overkill. So that means if I defend with Venom against this attack, Venom would absorb, so like in this case, he does 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus whatever his card's going to do, so that's a lot of damage. 2 of it would be absorbed by Venom if I defend with Venom, and then the rest would go to my character. That's why I wanted this force field generator. That's a huge attack that's incoming. I'm not very happy about that. Just realized I didn't think this out very well. I got too carried away with wanting to put those counters on Venom. So we're going to use Spider Command to exhaust the Spider Command, choose a card from my hand to discard it. We're going to discard this to ready the host Spider. And then we'll exhaust the host Spider to unexhaust the Spider suit. And then exhaust the Spider suit to thwart the main scheme for 2. With that, we're going to go to the end of my turn. I am going to discard this so I have no cards in hand. We're going to drop to our hand size of 3. So 1, 2, 3. And I thought I'd already done the math. I'm pretty sure, I think, unless something happens during the encounter phase, I should win if I don't get KO'd during the bad guy phase. But this kind of confirmed it. Once again, as long as I make it through the encounter phase. So let's go through the villain phase here. Ready all my cards. He's going to accelerate the scheme. And I could lose, so you could. The encounter phase is what's going to matter, because here we go. I am in hero form. He is going to attack. I am going to defend with the Spider suit and then exhaust this so that it reduces the damage by 4. He's going to attack for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then he has the force response where it's going to give him overkill. But then this goes away. So he's doing 7 right now. Plus 2, so he's doing 9 damage. I defended, so 2, plus I had the speed metal alloy, 3, 4. So I got to take 5 damage. Force field generator says that when I would take any amount of damage, remove counters equal to the damage and prevent 1 damage for each counter removed in such way. So force field absorbed all that hit. And then charge goes away because of the forced response. And then now Sandman's going to activate. He's just going to attack for 1. I am not defending. Force field generator is going to absorb that last 1. And that's where I was thinking there'd be counters left on there, and that would have been a good thing to save this. But anyways, we're done with that. It's gone. Now we go to the encounter phase and let's see what happens. Surge in crime. Yay. We already know this one. We've seen it. It's going to get surge, so we're going to have to do another encounter card, and each criminal minion gains surge. As a hero action, I can get rid of that as long as there's no criminals in play. But there's a criminal in play, so I cannot get rid of this. So here's the surge, which is hard to keep down. When revealed, Rhino heals for 4 damage. Okay, maybe I am not knocking him out. I told you, it could do something. If he wouldn't have healed, that would have gained surge, but he's going to heal, taking him up to full. And then we go back to my turn. So now we got to make the decision, do we get rid of Surge in Crime, which we can't do till we take care of Sandman, or do we just take out Rhino? That's the decision. All right, I think I did the math right. I think I still got it, but let's see. We're going to find out. Here we go. I'm going to do Web Trap, which costs 2. I'm going to use my resource sync ratio, exhausting the spider, and that gives me 1. And then I'll discard this one for another 2 to make the second one. Now we do Web Trap, which does 5 damage to an enemy. If I paid for this card using a resource generated by Spider Suit Sync ratio, it stuns him. So it's going to do 5 damage to Rhino. Taking him to 10. All right. And because I played with the sync ratio, he becomes stunned. Now Venom is going to exhaust an attack for 1, plus for each sim counter he gets +1, so for 4 damage. Taking Rhino down to 6. But takes a consequence damage for doing that. I'm going to exhaust the host spider to unexhaust Spider Suit. Then exhaust Spider Suit to attack Rhino for 2, plus with the web fluid compressors. 3, 4 damage, taking him down to 2. And then I'm going to use the Spider Command to exhaust Spider Command. Choose and discard 1 card from your hand to ready an interface upgrade. Then I'm going to exhaust, which will be a host spider. Then I'm going to exhaust host spider to ready the Spider Suit. And then I'm going to use the Spider Suit to attack Rhino for his final 2. So a lot of culminating there, but was able to take it down. Make sure I didn't do anything. Nope, I didn't miss nothing. So, interesting. I did enjoy it more than I thought I would. I saw when I did the unboxing that the hand size of 3 was going to worry me a little bit because it was kind of worrisome. But it kind of makes sense if you use the interface the way I was doing. So I figured that had to be the things. I was like, man, this feels as bad as Hulk, but Hulk at least can do a lot of damage. Now this could unexhaust a lot to do more damage and do more flexibility with the damage and the damage and the thwarting. But no, all in all, that was pretty cool. I did enjoy it. We're going to get this all done and then try to get Spider-Ham up. Sorry, these are a little late. Like I said, there were some lighting issues at the house. So I basically was having to find a time that I could come up to the shop where it wouldn't be too busy. So I hit a cycle of days where it was too busy. That way it wouldn't be too noisy in order to do this playthrough. But with that, we're going to get this all ready and try to do probably later tonight or this morning, try to get Spider-Ham filmed up and then we'll move on. But other than that, thank you for watching and have a great day.